Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for February 2025. I'm going to start with the astrological forecast for the month of February. And if you're not interested in that, you can please go down to the description box below and click on the timestamp to get on to the actual tarot reading. But we're going to start off with a conjunction, actually two conjunctions on the same day. We have a conjunctions of the Moon and Saturn on the 1st of February. It can bring a sense of emotional isolations, feelings of loneliness, sadness, lack of emotional fulfillment. The planet, the Moon is the planet of our emotions. Saturn, on the other hand, is a planet of structure and discipline. And it would be a great time to have a look at how you structure and how your structures around you is impacting your emotions and vice versa. It's all about emotional challenges and growing from them, but with them. Make sure life demands are not weighing you down too much, but if they are, take a look at what you can do about it to realign yourself. Also, on the same day, we have a conjunction of the Moon and Venus, which can bring a blend of beauty, emotional depth, financial ease, but also challenges in relationships and emotional stability. We're going to look at creativity, security, beauty, and pleasure. And emotion will come in touch with pleasure, but we might not want to combine this. We actually might want to combine this with discipline, since Saturn is also dancing with the Moon at the same time. The Moon will also at this time be in the sign of Pisces, and it is a highly intuitive sign that is literally represented by duality, the two fishes swimming in opposite directions. So we might actually really benefit from swimming deep into our own waters and our subconscious and really get in touch with our feelings and the love that we have for ourselves. The Moon will be at its closest point to Earth in Aries on the 2nd of February, which probably will, reignite our energies to achieve what we want to achieve before we actually start getting to the full moon. So it's going to be like a kickstart to the full moon there. A lot of intense, fiery energy there. On the 4th of February, I have Jupiter coming out of retrograde in Gemini. Retrograde has been a period of introspection and reassessment. We have been, reconsidering our past decisions and have had time to reflect on our own spiritual values, along with our moral values. And Jupiter is the planet of principles, growth, expansion, adventure, healing, good fortune, and miracles. So we can really expect to cash in properly from the introspection that we've had and experienced since Jupiter went into retrograde. On the 12th of February, we have a full moon in Leo, in your sign, my gorgeous ones. We want to be seen, we want to celebrate, we want to, embrace our own unique ways that we shine. It's almost getting in touch with our inner child. It's a childlike wonder. It's not a time to quit on yourself, but really to stand your ground and have some friendly competition, because that is healthy. That might be helping us, propelling us forward. You would want to see at what areas in your life you can actually step into a natural leading position, whether that is privately or in business, doesn't really matter, but where you actually feel like you can stand up tall and be behind it, sort of. Venus energy will be quite prominent in the month of February, and it will be at its brightest on February 16th. So, we can probably see it from Earth if we're actually interested in having a look. On the 24th of February, Mars retrograde will end in Cancer. Motivation will return. A period of feeling tired and exhausted will end. Mars is ruling our personal energy, so it will ask us to check our own energies, so it's not damaging or draining. This is to allow a new fresh period of action to begin. So what has been stalled is slowly starting up to move, slowly to make sure that you're on the right path or aligned with yourself. You know, it will bring new awareness to our limitations, our priorities, and the ability to nurture our within. The sun will enter Pisces on the 19th of February, and it's a time for healing, engaging in spiritual practices, creative projects, letting go of the past, and preparing for a new astrological new year. That will happen when the when the sun starts to move into Aries in March. On the 28th of February, I have a new moon in Pisces, so at the beginning of the next lunar cycle. And it encourages us to reflect on the importance of surrendering, to go with the flow. You know, it might encourage us to look at where where your opposing forces in life can actually become one, or building a bridge in between those. It's not a time to check out, rather than to check in and allow yourself to feel. All right, my beautiful Leo. I have cleansed your space. I have meditated on your cards. I will just want to cleanse the space with you before we get started. So you will be hearing 3 loud sounds, and I will begin now. So there we go, my beautiful Leos. So what we're going to do a Celtic cross. So take what resonates with you. If it doesn't, then leave that behind. It could be for someone else to know, but please stick further on into the reading, because we will be pulling more cards, and hopefully it will resonate with you. We're going to start with the past energy that you're bringing into February 2025. What is, you know, the recent past and the influences that you're bringing into February 2025? What is the past energy Leo is bringing into February 2025? The Lovers in reversed. The Lovers are a card of partnership, of union, duality. You know, it's about choice. Love is shown in a healed heart, and in my everyday actions. So it's a card about strength and confidence, physical and emotional, in a harmony, yin yang, you know, the opposite forces here, the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together. And maybe you've been a little bit out of whack here. Maybe you've been a little bit out of whack here. So, or maybe you've been going through a heartbreak. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit thrown off. Could I please have a card clarifying the Lovers in the reverse, please, Spirit? Could you please guide Leo for the highest good? So, we have a few here. So we have the Sun in the reverse, and I'm going to read these, and we also have the King of Cups in the reverse. So, emotional, manipulative and abusive, cold, moodiness, withdrawn, selfish or anxious. Those are the feelings. So if it's been a breakup, maybe that's what you're coming out of. Someone that's been manipulative and abusive, or cold, or that you're not really been connecting with your inner self when it comes to emotions. But we also have feeling down, temporary, overly optimistic, delayed gratification, inner child, blocked happiness, pessimism, and conceitedness. Yeah, I don't know what that means. English is not my first language. But pessimism and feeling down temporarily is quite prominent here. So I feel like you've not been really balanced in your emotions, or maybe even feeling like it's not really been working your way here. You have been having some dueling, like with swords or what. You have been having opposite forces around you that's been maybe throwing your balance completely off. You might not been giving and receiving what you have, you know, maybe that balancing between those have not been properly in balance, or you've been feeling, you know, maybe not so connected to your inner child or what you want to do. But When the full moon is reaching Leo on February the 12th, you might really actually start balancing these out, because all the reverse ones will go into the upright, but this is the past energy you're coming into January with. Could I please have Leo's hopes or fears for February 2025, please, Spirit? Could you please guide them for their highest good? What do they need to be aware of? Thank you. Strength, and this is your card. Your hope for February 2025 is finding your strength again. You know, this lady is putting her hand in the lion's mouth, and it's a sign of trust. You also have the sign of infinity above her head, or karma. Maybe you're wishing that karma will be, you know, coming around if you've been wronged or whatever, and it will. You know, but we also don't wish any harm on anyone around us, or anyone that's been doing us wrong, because we don't want to put that energy out, because then it will karmically come back to us in one way or another. But I feel like yes. You know, it's a card of bravery, instinct, confidence, inner strength, radiating, you know, power from inner understanding, compassion and trust. You know, these two are in a strange relationship. That's what a lot of people say, and that's what just rung into my ear there. But they are in a trusting relationship there, and a mutual relationship together. So maybe you know, it's a card of the sun and you, Leo. So I really feel like you want to get back into your own way. You want to find yourself again. You want to find the strength. You want to find and reconnect with you, if that makes sense. Could I please have the present energy for Leo for for February 2025? What is the present energy? And we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reversed. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card of, you know, he's been growing these vines there. He's been growing his fortune, and he's been putting a lot of work into it, and now it's only a waiting game. But since it's in the reverse, it will go into the upright. But since it's in the reverse, maybe you're wondering actually if the juice is worth the squeeze. So it is a little bit confirmation of what I've been picking up previously. You're wondering if all the energy you've actually been putting in is actually worth it. You don't know. I'm almost scared that maybe I've been doing it for nothing, but you know, things are not for nothing. You're doing it for yourself in a way. So it's never nothing. You just need to make sure and reevaluate if it's actually for you, this, if that makes sense. You know, it's a card of waiting and a higher purpose. Maybe you feel like you've not had a lot of perseverance, but I feel like really it's a lot about, is it actually worth all this energy I'm putting into it? Is it bringing anything back to me? Is there anything left for me by the end of this, so I can actually use it? What is the crossing energy for this seven? Thank you. So the crossing energy is the Ace of Wands. So there is a new creative beginning. There's a new beginning for your everyday willpower. You're kind of tapping into this energy of yourself. That's why I'm really getting so inspiration, innovation. This is the first step in act of creation. So that is really what is crossing this energy. Maybe you're willing to leave something behind that's not serving you anymore, so you can actually get started on something else. That is what I'm picking up here. You know, this is the fire of intention. You know, the universe is giving you this stick, this torch, that could actually be guiding you. Maybe you have a project that is coming up and you're much more interested in that. Just make sure that you're actually following your intuition here, and that you're listening to yourself if it's something that you actually want. But it's almost like I'm feeling like I really want this. I really have this fire almost burning, like I'm ready for a new beginning that will actually serve me instead of maybe just keeping me afloat, if that makes sense. What is going on in Leo's conscious energy? I'm knocking on the card sometimes because I just get the feeling of the sound helping with the cards, and knocking on for my spirits, because in these readings it's quite hard sometimes to get all these energies right and trying to communicate them with you, because it's a live reading, because there's a lot of energy coming in. If this would be like a one-on-one, it might be a little bit easier because you have one person to read for rather than several people coming in, if that makes sense. But what is Leo's conscious energy? What are you aware of? What is going on in your conscious mind, Leo, right now in February 2025? What is going on in your conscious mind? Oh, Ace of Cups. So this could be represented by a new love, overflowing feelings, creativity. You know, maybe you have a lot of feelings about, if this is a somewhat of a business reading, you could be having a lot of you know, feelings regarding this, because you're ready for a new beginning, you know, a start of an emotional fulfillment. It's the joy about giving and receiving. So maybe you feel I feel very hopeful here, Leo, for this energy that I'm picking up on. It's very light and wonderful reading here. So you, when you are finding your self-worth here, you will be having a question of, is it time to move on? Or maybe it is because you're feeling down and therefore you feel like it's actually time to move on. You will find your strength here. But what's going on in your unconscious, in your subconscious? What is the key? Why are you not where you need to be? Thank you. So we have the Queen of Cups, and the queens are expressing their power creatively. It's a card. She is representing, you know, kindness, calm, serenity. You know, you can bring others happiness without, you know, risking your own happiness, and you can be there for people without suppressing your own emotional fulfillment. She's ruling, you know, fairly, but with a lot. She is representing the divine feminine here. You are getting in touch with your inner divine emotional queen, we can say here. That is what's going on, and that's really, I feel like it's opening up right now as we are going into the month. That's really what's, you know, she's realizing here, or you are realizing here, that something is not emotional fulfilling as you thought it would be, and it's not bringing enough happiness as it is right now, considering that to where you've been emotionally before. You are aware of how it is actually influencing you and how your emotions are influencing your everyday life, if that makes sense. You also have the 8 of Wands. So you have another 8 compared to, in relation to the infinity sign over her head there. So the 8 of Wands is a card of transcendence, transcendence of energy. You know, it's a card of rapid action, movement, quick decisions. You know, adapting and embracing adaptation and patience. It's a lot of overflowing energy and sure execution, we can say, like, you know, this is where it's going and this is in your subconscious. So you're really tapping into your emotions here in your subconscious and to your alignment, we can say. This is wonderful. Could I please have a card that represents Leo? What is Leo's attitude for February 2025? What is Leo's attitude? Thank you. So, Okay, this is the Six of Wands, right? The sixes are a journey towards harmony. And since it's wands, it's about creativity, everyday willpower, you name it. So sixes are journeys towards harmony. It's a card of victory, recognition, public reward. My successes are worth celebrating, we can say. But it's in the reverse, so maybe you're not really... what am I picking up here? Maybe you don't feel like your successes that you've been through already, working so hard on, is worth celebrating, but all the energy that you're putting into things are worth celebrating. But maybe you're even almost a little bit scared of sharing things with people. Maybe you want to kind of keep it on the down low a little bit until you actually know what's going on here, and until you actually get the feeling of, yeah, I'm in alignment with myself right now. Could I please have a card clarifying the Six of Wands here? What does Leo need to know? Oh, thank you. Maybe you feel like the celebration time has been missed. This is the Tower in the reverse, so all the reverse cards will go into the upright as you're moving through February. But it says here, fear of change, averting disaster, like trying not to have a disaster happening. But sometimes if you're averting something that needs to fall down in order for you to build a stronger foundation and build further on it, on your dreams and future, sometimes we need to have that breakdown to actually happen in order to build an actual stable foundation for us to have to build on further. And maybe that's also why you're feeling like maybe it was all for nothing, if you're letting this happen. The moment has already passed. Oppression, carelessness, negligence and apathy. So maybe you are feeling, still bringing this energy of the past into, maybe you don't want to celebrate or reconnecting with yourself right now, or you have a fear of change. But I feel like you are, you're hoping and you're moving towards actually an actual change here, to finding yourself and to actually change it and to actually move on with a new endeavor and a new creative project. You have two aces here and the Queen of Cups as well. So I feel like you're getting into terms with your own feelings here. But maybe right now, as you're watching this reading or coming into February, you feel like maybe it's not actually worth celebrating anything yet. But just, celebrating that you're alive is a wonderful thing to celebrate, isn't it? Like, you wake up in the morning and you're always there for yourself. Like, celebrate yourself if you don't feel like anything else around you are worth celebrating, but celebrate yourself, if that makes sense. Could I please have the environment around Leo? What is affecting Leo right now? What is the environment around Leo in February? Thank you. So maybe you have an environment around you regarding the Seven of Wands. So this man, the sevens, like we said earlier, the sevens are kind of waiting or higher purpose. And it's about standing your ground, defense, maintaining control, defending boundaries, not only to play offense, but realizing that the defense is also quite important in like a balanced way of fighting or conquering. But he's playing here with sticks, so he's basically practicing. The balance of offense and defense is really about your self-image. Like, sometimes you need to tell people off, sometimes you need to know when to move on. And I feel like maybe, since it's in the reverse, maybe you feel like everything's falling apart slightly, not heavily, but like you can't really control it. Like, you can't really stand your ground where you are right now. You might not be maintaining control over the everyday willpower, sort of. or maybe there is a lack of balance of offense and defense. Maybe things are taken too personally at times. Could I please have a clarification card here on the Seven of Wands? What does Leo need to hear? Oops, that's way too many. Could I please have one card, Spirit, too? Thank you. Irrational, dictator, controlling, cold, ruthless, inhumane, dishonest, manipulation, controlling, and abuse of power. So maybe you're feeling like maybe there's a boss around you that is not really aligning with you and can see your worth and things. And maybe that's why you're putting so much work into the things that you're doing right now, because you just want it to be well, and it will keep the status quo at work. But you're starting to really realize that all this, you're worth so much more, Leo, than what this person around you is actually, and creating the environment this person is actually creating around you, that you're worth so much more than that, if that makes sense. Could I please have Leo's short-term outcome for February 2025? What is Leo's outcome for short-term outcome? Please, Spirit, could you guide Leo for their highest good? Oops, it's quite a few cards here. So the short-term outcome is, if you're getting in touch with yourself, you are also having judgments. I felt like I needed to check the other card behind it. You're having judgments. So the short-term outcome here is that you are listening to a higher calling. I also feel like you're protected right now. The judgment is about reflection, reckoning, awakening, and awakening to an actual calling. Embracing your true path. So sorry, Leo, my camera just died. I fixed it. It's about having a rebirth, looking back and with an honest evaluation of yourself, and it will bring a new way of life. You're not meant to look too harshly on yourself, but see your worth, but still work through not necessarily mistakes, but steps taken towards your journey so far. You actually got two angels here, so I feel like your angels are surrounding you at this moment. So you awaken to your higher calling. With Temperance, you're finding a middle path. It's about patience and finding meaning, finding balance between the opposite forces here. So maybe you're deciding to step down in time at your work to work on something that you would like, or something that's bringing you passion and emotional fulfillment. Maybe you're stepping down in hours to start another job. Maybe you're stepping down in hours to look at and evaluate your life. But Temperance has one foot on the ground firmly, he's grounded, and one foot in the water, so he is in touch with his emotions. It's a card of adapting, cooperation, and meditation. Embracing patience and harmony to balance your inner world. So that's really what you're looking at here, and this is only the short-term outcome. The 7, you have another 7, so maybe 777 is something that you need to look up to, look up to. Maybe you do need to look up to some 777. Google the angel meaning of 777 and see if it resonates with you. But here you have the 7 of Cups. And, sevens, waiting, and a higher purpose. You're presented with many choices, and some might be fantasy, some might be illusion, but you can commit to something even if it's not perfect. Everything has pros and cons. And as long as it's bringing you emotional fulfillment and feel like you are realigning with your strength and your inner self, it will still bring you emotional fulfillment, even though if it's just of a short period of time. What is the long-term outcome here for Leo for February 2025? What is the long-term outcome? Thank you. The Hermit. So short-term outcome are usually days, weeks, maybe months, but the long-term outcome is maybe months or years. But you have the Nine of Wands here. It's a closing of a cycle. So it's a card of that brings up the thought of elements of isolation and heightened awareness. It's a card of resilience, pushing towards. You know, he's close to burnout. If you decide to stay in this job, this is just what I need to say, that he's close to burnout, but he's almost there. Or if you decide to start your own business, that it might be heavy in the beginning, but you know, you need to find the balance in order to get to where you want, because this man is close to burnout. He's been fighting with sticks for so long he doesn't even remember. But that's the thing, he's been fighting with sticks, he's not been fighting with swords, so he's not been hurt in any way, shape or form. But he's close to burnout. That's what I'm getting here. So if you're deciding to take your own and connect with yourself, just be aware of the balance. Just don't throw yourself into something else and just be completely consumed by it. The Hermit is also a card, is a major arcana card. You got 2 major arcana here, so the short-term outcome is absolutely brilliant, and the long-term outcome is also brilliant, because the Hermit, right, he's also number 9, so you got 2 9s here, so number 9 might be actually influencing you quite a bit as well. You got a lot of 8s as well when I'm looking at it. You got 6s, 7s, 8s and 9s. It's a card of, you know, contemplation, a search for truth, inner guidance, time for self-reflection, soul's journey inwards. You know, he's climbing up this mountain, and on the top of the mountain he is finding the star, and he puts the star in the lantern that he has there in his hand, and he's shining his inner wisdom and onto the world, what he's really found within this time of self-reflection. But it's also important for the Hermit to come back down from the mountains, to not only stay in the self-isolated, but to actually take on some new challenges and be ready to take them on. Or even maybe there's a burnout and you are forcing yourself, some sort of a burnout, you know, when it comes to, if you decide to not step down, but you are actually balancing yourself here. So I feel like it's not, I want to say burnout, but I might be looking at something else here. You know, the long-term outcome is about resilience and realizing your strength and finding that fire within you, but also having that contemplation and searching for your truth. Like, silence and solitude are so good for us when everything in life is so busy, that we need to take that time to reflect on what's going on, like what we want. Is this actually what we need? Am I ready to move on and forward, if that makes sense? Could I please have the finishing some messages for Leo before I finish the reading? What does Leo need to hear for the month of February 2025? Could you please guide them for the highest good? What does Leo need to know? What does Leo need to hear? The answers you need are coming. A personal issue reaches resolution. Could I please have one more, and then I'm gonna pull one of the pink ones for Leo. Don't let your past hold you back. So maybe this is also about recognizing the burnout that you've been having in your past or throughout this experience, but leading up to February 2025. Maybe that is about it. Don't let it hold you back. Don't be scared of it, but recognize it when it's actually coming in. I'm also hearing that I need to pull one of these for you. What does Leo need to hear? Oh. Okay, that was it. Right. It's the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you and not to you. So whatever been happening up until this point, you know, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you to realign yourself with your higher purpose. Okay, thank you so much, Leo, for being here today. If anything resonated, please leave that in the comment comment section down below. Leave a like and consider subscribing, and hopefully I see you in March. Take very good care of yourselves. See you later. Bye bye.